On Living a Sex-Positive Life, we explore all aspects of human sexuality. We talk about the good and the bad, the health and healing benefits, the adventures and the relationships, as well as the crimes and the tragedies. We strive to be an advocate and an empowering force in the fight for sexual freedom. Our mission is to educate, entertain, and talk about the touchy subject that affects us all, sex. Now here's your host, Angelique Luna!
Good evening, everyone. This is Angelique Luna. I'm here with my co-host husband, Patreon troublemaker, instigator, pig wrangler, hog tying there.
Hog tying.
John C. Luna.
Hello, everyone.
And we are finally joined and welcoming, yay, tonight our newest and latest member of the Living a Sex Positive Life family.
We have a family now.
We have a family. Well, yes, it is. We have a third now, but it's not that kind of molecule family.
I've been looking for a third. This is a different third. Let's go there, but it's definitely a third.
It is a third. Miss Ignixia Roberts.
How can I follow that intro?
I swear,
I'm just
your
trying
first
not
day
to laugh through it.
Your first day on, we're not trying to stand you up.
No, not at all. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Now, how do you want to be addressed? Do you prefer to be Miss Ignixia Roberts or Ignixia or Kinky?
Just Ignixia is fine.
Or Kiki Dominatrix educator make me bow or something. I was trying to come up with crazy shit.
What?
Oh, that's so funny.
So Ignixia has been on the show, twice so far, and it went so well.
So
we liked her so much, we wanted to keep her.
Yes. So we made her a deal she couldn't refuse.
They like me. They really like me.
We do. And Kaylee, too.
Yep.
Kaylee being the
her service pup.
Service pup. Yep. Who's always at her side, or usually at her side.
Pretty much. The very silent extra add-on.
But too adorable, so she will be one of our mascots to say, please feed us, please support us. That and our little piggy.
Yep.
We're gonna
Yes,
name the pig.
we've acquired the pig from Moana. I don't think I've even seen all of Moana.
No, and we do have it. I haven't downloaded it yet, so.
But now I'm going to be tying the pig.
We'll be tying the pig. And the child will see the photos later and then be crying. Awesome. So we're going to have a lot to cover and interesting formats. We'll be talking this week about fun, kinky shit.
Well, actually, I want to go back. There's something I've been meaning to talk about, and it just hit me now.
Literally. With me and the Twizzlers. Yes,
She's beating me with Twizzlers. I swear, this is not a stunt.
Okay, that was King Craig's fault for reintroducing me to Twizzlers that could be used as a lethal weapon because it came in the rope box. You are not allowed to use the 3-foot Twizzlers. Okay? I just had surgery Monday. If you beat me with a 3-foot Twizzler, that actually is abuse.
So you bite it in half, so it's 1.5 foot long Twizzler. It's less threatening. It's
still kinky no matter what, so yeah.
Well, we know it's kinky. That's our life. The question is it abuse?
No, it's not. Because you gave consent.
I just want to see the actual lawsuit where they come up in front of the judge and say, what was the weapon? Twizzlers.
Oh. That sounds terrible.
It does.
But anyway, the issue that I realized I wanted to talk about with you, Ignixia, is that you did a little traveling, didn't you? To the Big Apple.
Goodness. Surprise topic that we didn't... Okay.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about it, but I'm going to throw it in there anyway.
We did talk about it. It was just 2 weeks ago that we talked about it. We just forgot to refresh your memory today. Yeah, this is how John works. He works sneaky.
So that was... Tell me exactly what it was. Let's put it that way.
And it's still coming up, isn't it? It's like April 13th or something, or...
Oh, goodness. Now I gotta... See, this is why surprise topics are bad, because I don't have the event information right in front of me.
Well,
okay.
just tell us your experience at the event. And tell us what the event was.
So, what I will be going to in April, it's actually Friday, April 13th. I will be back in New York City to teach for the Sugar Baby Summit, which I'm allowed to say that now because they've finally sent us all of the information. Though anyone listening to this podcast is getting a little bit of an extra sneak peek because they haven't officially posted anyone online yet.
Bonus!
So extra presenters are going to be announced later. But if you're listening to a podcast, yes, I will be there. We will be doing a summit about sugar babies and sugar daddies and the sugar community. And my role in all of that is to talk about how kink is involved and how to market yourself and branding. But there'll be other presenters talking about what it's like to be a sugar baby, what it's like to be a sugar daddy, how to get into it, things to avoid, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Not only for the sake of sharing kink education, but learning about a community that I don't really know a whole lot about yet. So it's exciting.
Very exciting there. That is so cool.
Well, it's for me, that's all virgin territory.
Yeah.
You've played a little bit as a sugar baby.
I'm kind of like a veteran in it, so yeah. I'm just hoping Ignixia gets herself a sugar daddy out of this whole deal.
Well, I was never rich enough to be a sugar daddy. Although I like being called daddy, that's enough for me.
But then here comes the question.
What?
How would her partner feel about it?
Yeah, see, that's where a lot of it I'm still learning, because the way that they advertise it is obviously that you're not required to have any kind of sexual, romantic, etc. relationship. This isn't a prostitution thing. It's not a pay for sex, pay per meet. It's none of those things. So as I'm learning about what exactly all of this is, it's kind of interesting to kind of go, all right, well, if it's not these things, then what is it? And so I don't want to talk on it too much just because I still don't have a lot of that information. But so far I've been told, at least, that it is essentially one of those that so long as everyone is doing things consensually, then it's a way of showing affection, like with your love languages, and gifting being one of the big love languages that a lot of people are familiar with. It's basically a way of showing affection from one person to another through that love language of gifting, but it doesn't necessarily have to be reciprocated with anything outside of whatever someone's willing to invest in it back. So it's interesting. I'm still learning on it. I haven't signed up for any of the stuff just yet because I'm still wanting to learn about it before I try to get into any of it.
Awesome. Well, I think that qualifies as her initiation of me springing this on her. I apologize in advance. Well, no, I apologize after the fact. Never mind.
You're supposed to say that in advance, not after the fact. But you're saying in advance,
right?
So it's just yeah. No, I was just curious because I mean I've done it for several years when I was a little bit younger. Now that I'm in a relationship, it seems like I'm not so much of a demand because I am attached and I'm very honest about it and open. And some sugar daddies don't like that. They prefer exclusivity. But even though I know many sugar babies have more than one sugar daddy. And so it can be challenging on an official relationship aspect. With us having an open relationship, it was never an issue because that's part of our deal. But for others like yourself or other sugar babies who are interested and have a relationship, that's something you have to discuss. Is your partner willing to share you? Is your sugar daddy willing to share you? What's the negotiated rights? Yes, it is an agreement between two consensual adults, but sometimes even that, there are some sugar daddies that are very demanding and say, no, you only are exclusive to me. Whatever you need, I will give you X amount. Here's your allowance, trips, hotels, whatever. So.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that just goes back to, your own kind of moral compass. What are you willing to do, say, etc. And my biggest thing for people is, like, when you're getting into any relationship with somebody, personally, I'm all about, like, be open and honest. If it's not going to match up, then don't bother. But that's just because I don't, I kind of have the luxury of already being attached to someone. I don't have a void that needs to be filled, I guess. There's not this, like, urgency to find something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. I mean, because that's the one thing with these, sugar baby, sugar daddy dating sites, is that they're looking for that missing either intimacy or relationship or touch. I mean, something that they're not getting at home, or just because they don't have time to commit. That's why in the sex working industry, the girlfriend experience is huge.
Right.
They want to have that experience, that love, affection, and attention, whatever it is that they're missing. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be sex, but just to have someone to listen to them, comfort them, boost their ego, saying, yeah, you're doing a great job. I can help you out. And that's the thing that people are missing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm really eager to see how this conference is going to go and see what some of the speakers are going to say and learn more about it. Even if it's not something I end up going into, I just want to gather more information about it because, well, I like more kink and sex and etc. education, and whatever else I can learn, the better.
Now, in order to attend the conference, do you have to be a member of the site?
You do not. There is a link. If you look up Sugar Baby Summit on Google, the first thing that pulls up is a link to information about the summit. There's not a ton of information up just yet, just because they haven't announced the speakers and the topics. But the conference venue is posted, and the location and all of that. And then there's just a little link that says purchase your tickets. And if you actually use the coupon code of Ignixia, you get half off.
Ooh. I like how they use the word summit. It makes it sound so official. Like we have the Peace Summit and the Sugar Baby Summit. The Sugar Summit.
I don't know. Maybe this looks such like reporting that we, if you can't go, I will definitely go and investigate.
I think you would fit in better.
Yeah, I could definitely attend.
I'm just saying, if you guys want to go, we will talk about this later, because there's a better deal I can get you.
There's always wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
Always better.
Yeah, that's why when you have the last name as Luna, you become quick, oh God, how not to say con artist.
Your family's quote is, where there's a Luna, there's a way. So
No. Where there's a will, there's a loophole.
Oh, that works too.
Oh, no.
There's always a loophole. That's how I've survived so much and, gotten a lot of things. Oh, come on. Half the time you're like, shh. Yeah, this is the rare times that we wish we had cameras to see John C. Luna blushing really bad when I come up with my scams or schemes or ideas.
Well, like every relationship, it's a balance. The balance that keeps us getting stuff while the other balance keeps us out of jail. I won't let you decide who's who in that relationship.
But you corrupted me.
That's totally how that went. I can see it now.
Yeah, I was the bad influence.
Extremely.
Yes.
I believe it.
So moving on to other events.
Oh, goodness.
I know. Isn't it such a roller coaster ride?
Whee! I think we're having a pig fetish tonight. We had the Geico pig.
I don't know. I may take that little sound bit of "wee" she just said and make it so when you squeeze the pig, it says that.
Oh, goodness.
My God, that's so cool. We could stitch it up there. You're good with sewing, right, Ignixia?
Well, what we've realized is when you take your pig or other stuffed animal, as a friend of ours has a stuffed bear known as Dick Bear, to events.
And you can find him on Facebook and social media, Instagram too.
But there is a very much a real life potential for kidnappings. Because we were literally told that there was going to be an attempt to kidnap Dick Bear. And we've decided that we need to go and buy one of those like $25 GPS and sew it into his belly or someplace, maybe his ass, where no one will look. Probably not his ass, because that's where people grab him. But we need to do that just so we can track Dick Bear in case there is a Dick Bear kidnapping. Which
almost happened over at Leadership Conference.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
And that was from our wonderful friend at the National Coalition of Sexual Freedom, Bebe. She was going to be the culprit.
Yes, but I will be much more generous than, what's his name, John Getty, who had to receive an ear to pay the ransom. I will go ahead and fess up to get Dick Bear back.
Yeah, but then you can make poor Dick Bear pay back his ransom.
Oh, goodness.
Well, we do have more to talk about.
So,
lots of things. Something kinky, something camp outy, something like Kinky Camp Out, which is coming up real soon.
Yes, it is. Kinky Camp Out starts... Oh, goodness. So technically, I go up there tomorrow, but I want to double check really quick and make sure that I'm not telling people the wrong dates. I think the only thing you might be able to get right now is a Saturday day pass anyways. I think the full weekend is done. But okay. The website does say it's listed from Thursday to Sunday this weekend at a campground in Plant City. It's a clothing optional campground. Which turns into some interesting hilarity when people pack for clothing optional. And a couple years ago we had a Kinky Camp Out where the average temperature during the day was around 35 degrees.
Actually, my thought would be that means we have to cuddle for body heat. That could get like an interesting camp out. Or just run away and leave.
Yeah, it turns into that, or a lot of people trying to hide in their tents because it was also rainy. So it was an interesting camping event, but we're not supposed to get weather that's that cold this weekend, thankfully. But yeah, right now my living room looks like a little bit of a staging area for the camping stuff. I've got my tent and the air mattress and all of the accoutrement that I need. So it's a lot of fun. It's an event I look forward to every year. And I like it not only because it's a lot of really cool people, and it's a smaller event, which means that you don't you're kind of much more in a family environment rather than at a conference where you've got hundreds of people. This, I think, doesn't usually reach quite 100 people.
That's intimate.
That's very intimate.
It's a very family feeling event, where you just kind of get to let your hair down if you have any. I don't quite have much anymore, but sit around by campfires and talk about nonsense. And there's a dungeon with a giant bonfire in the middle of it, so you're playing outdoors in nature, with a fire going in the middle and drum circles, and it's just a very cool space. And for those that are so inclined, the space is also used for different events that are more druidic, pagan, Wiccan related.
So they do sacrifice the chicken.
No, there's no sacrifices.
Well, she said pagan, druid,
No sacrifices. But for those that are more energy or spiritually inclined, this space has some pretty cool energy flowing through it. So it's a very neat space.
Cool. Sounds like a good place to get all those roping pictures outdoors that I see that I keep wondering, how do they get these pictures without, getting arrested?
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. This would be one of those that, there's a couple classes where they'll do suspensions from trees if they can, and do all kinds of tying people to things. So.
So this is the place where you get those cool roping outdoor photos. Remember
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I just said.
It is.
Sorry.
It is. That's okay. We could also get those cool pictures where I tie you up to a cross and I get to use my floggers without worrying about hitting walls.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, this would be a place to try out the full 8-foot bullwhips.
Actually, you might be able to in some of the dungeon spots.
Very cool.
Might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a little discussion. I'm all about camping. Angelique is not a camping girl.
Oh.
My idea of camping is a Motel 6.
I think
That's
this event
rubbing
could
it.
change your mind.
Is it the Motel 6 with or without the chalk body outlines?
I mean, I think this one could change your mind. If for nothing else, then the fact that on most nights you're trying to fall asleep to the sound of other people having sex.
It's still outdoors in the wilderness. No. That's the whole thing.
Someone needs to get in tune with nature.
Look. Okay,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the most I get in tune with nature, it's going to Fort Wilderness campgrounds at Disney and staying at one of their cabins. Okay?
I mean, they've got a spot for RVs if you really... But...
That's still, yeah.
Well, I think this is a great time. Let's hear a word from our sponsor and we'll be right back.
Poly Dallas Millennial is a symposium about consensual and ethical non-monogamy.
We're going to be broadcasting there from July 13th to the 15th down in the Dallas area.
I will also be doing presentations in Spanish for how to speak to your kids about sex and cookies and consent, all in Espanol.
So if you're in the Dallas area or you can come and travel, come visit us and say hi. See you there.
And we're back. That was a short, fun commercial.
Yes, and we have a whole new segment now we're thinking of talking about. We're actually trying to organize stuff. Isn't this cool? We're not just like talking for an hour and yelling at each other.
Now you're talking super fast like I do.
Oh, damn, the caffeine kicked in. But one thing we all have is our own little, what'd you call them? I call them crusades.
Crusades, causes.
Crusades, I know.
Mission statements.
Mine is, of course, bisexual men, the B that's ignored in the LGBTQ. Yours is?
I'd like to say just still being an advocate for sexual freedom, meeting more towards the sex workers and educating the public that sex is good and it's not a bad taboo thing, just to empower our youth to make better decisions and protect them from, sex abuse.
And Ignixia.
Yeah, mine relates a lot with my own personal stuff dealing with disability and sex and kink and all of how everything works, and just kind of that you don't have to give up one because of the other. So, yay.
I think there's a lot of my vocabulary is horrible today. I can't remember.
Are you having like stunt brain?
Yeah, I think I ate too many Twizzlers right now because I was too busy trying to beat you up at the same time eat them.
Never beat someone up with the Twizzler that you're beating someone else with. That can only occur in injury.
And keep the chocolate, the candy away from Angelique during broadcast, because then she goes, "Oops, I'm loopy. Who needs alcohol when you have sugar?" Okay, sidetracked. Okay.
Well, no. One thing I've seen a lot of, and it's been at several conferences, is there's usually a bit on either kink or sex or BDSM and disabilities, and it's obviously becoming a growing trend, or at least it's probably been hidden for a long time. It's just coming to the surface now that, you know what, just because people are disabled, whether it is chronic pain or whether it is any version of a disability, that doesn't really change the mind. You can still be one kinky motherfucker and still be... Yes.
Well, it doesn't hurt you, and in some aspects it does help and is therapeutic. As for me, because I am a diabetic, and I've spent long days walking and running around the theme park, sometimes I'm just exhausted and my legs and my feet hurt, and then you just rope them up and tie them up and bound them, and the next day I'm perfectly fine. I love the sensation of the compression and how it just helps with my blood circulation on my feetsies and legs.
I never actually thought tying up my wife would be a therapeutic thing. Like, I get kudos for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of therapeutic stuff that kink and sex can provide for people with chronic pain and disability conditions that a lot of people forget about, and it's really cool to see when they can figure out how to make them work just right together. They suddenly light up, and it's like a whole world is reopened that they thought was closed, and it's really empowering.
And I think we need to get more of that message out to people, that it is not, bad things. But I think we've gone to a couple of vanilla parties, and John ended up being like the center of attention because we started taking out the rope, and then they enjoyed it. I know we were at one party and someone got tied up, and they were just like always with chronic pain, but at the end of the scene, she felt 100% better with the rope. She's like, I've never thought of this. And she was terrified because she thought it was going to injure her more, and instead it healed her or gave her some relief of the pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty common result of what happens. Granted, people they have to be careful with what they're doing and what the conditions are. There's a lot of people that will jump into things because they hear that it'll help, and you can do damage. So, I mean, obviously it means having more in-depth conversations and better negotiation and more communication while it's going on. Like, if something hurts in a bad way, you can't not speak up because you're afraid that everything will stop. But yeah, we could do an entire podcast on this alone.
True. Actually, I think we could do pretty much a whole podcast on many of the things we talk about.
It's true.
Yeah, this is our intro and trying to get the dynamics and,
Well, no, I'm just thinking that in the past 3 years, we've actually seen a push towards educating doctors and caregivers about kink. And being able to basically get them on the ball can be extraordinarily helpful in basically removing the demonization part of it, which seems some people have on that. So, as I look and have slight technical difficulties as my computer did something which I am unaware of. So, let's see. What else? I know we have fun stuff to talk about. This is your first episode. We've talked about the doggy and the pig. I was attacked by a pig on break.
I think we need to rename the pig other than the Moana pig, because I don't want Disney to come back and sue us.
Oh. Yeah, that would be bad.
That's what we need. We need an input from people to let us know what we should call the Moana pig.
Or what we can do is make it a contest.
Ooh.
And the winner gets some kind of living a sex-positive life swag.
We have swag.
We have toys. We have lube. We got condoms.
We have canes. We have lots of stuff.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff.
So we can put something together, but we need good names. I don't want Bob.
Sounds like a good contest to me.
So
Kinky Pig.
The Kinky Pig contest on living a sex-positive life. So let's go with that. And let's put it this way. You have Twitter, you have Facebook. Send us pig name ideas.
Yeah.
And again, let's keep Bob out of it. Bob is just my random name for anyone. So besides Bob, we're now looking for names for the Moana pig. And you know what we need to do? We need to definitely post the pictures of us and the pig.
Yeah. And, since Ignixia is really good with graphics, she could probably come up with the graphics. Please name our pig so you could feed us. We won't eat them. Oh, what was it that we did the bacon joke?
Bacon?
Remember?
can we really talk about bacon in front of the pig? I mean, doesn't that seem... That is right up there with and I'm not making insulting here, but it was kind of the confusing leather person who was vegan. I don't know. So you can wear the pig, but not eat the pig. And I'm still
some people do it for dietary stuff, so that could be.
But you're wearing animal products that used to be live.
Yeah, but if they're vegan for the sake of, like, their body doesn't process meat, then that would be different than being against the
inhumane treatment of meat.
Yeah. And there's some people that will still wear it just because, like, a friend gave it or because it's been passed down. Like, I've heard of some people who are against the animal cruelty, so they won't buy new leather products, but they'll go to Goodwill and get something that's been essentially recycled.
Now that makes some sense. That does make sense to me. Huh. I don't know. I'm not leather, and not because I don't like leather. It's just because I won't say I'm leather, and I haven't gone through what I think is the qualifying to be leather. And I would never take away from the leather community. I just like wearing the leather. And unfortunately, living in Florida, how much time do you really get to wear that leather? Yeah. Now that I don't own a motorcycle.
But see, just enjoying wearing leather, you could call yourself leather. I'm just saying.
I know. I don't because I very much respect them.
Well, it's different for each people. It's different for each person, and we'll have this conversation outside of this.
No,
this would be a very long thing.
Run with it.
All right, so the long and short of it is there are some people who look at leather as this very kind of high, lofty, moral thing, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. There are others who look at leather and say, no, it's just because I like to have sex a certain way and I like to wear leather. I like to get rough. I like to do, like, whatever, which is also perfectly fine and acceptable. The problem comes into play when people say what leather should be for another person. And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they're brand new to leather and when they're brand new to what leather could be, all they're told is the very high, lofty, you have to be an event organizer and a group leader and a this and a that and a blah, 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 and a blah, blah, blah. So people feel like they don't fit into that community because, well, maybe they don't have the time, money, energy to invest into those things, but they really just like wearing leather and they like having rough, dirty pig sex, as they like to call it, and that's okay. That still makes somebody a leather person. So, I mean, it's as you define it, and so long as you don't run around calling yourself Super Lord Uberdom Master who was covered by the Council of Elders, I mean, that'll just get you laughed off the, conference floor. But that's its whole other thing, and there are totally people that we can interview that will have some really cool stories about this.
Interesting.
Well, I think leather is just such a great topic that they do so much for the community. We just came from LLC Leather Leadership Conference, and they raised $11,000
$10,500
in scholarships for education,
mm-hmm.
which is phenomenal considering they did it. Well, one, thankfully they refunded my $9,000 cock ring, but beyond that, they did actually raise the $10,500 without my $9,000. Mm-hmm. And one of them was selling a what was that?
A leather bear, yeah.
Meaning a stuffed animal completely made of leather, which even I drooled over.
I did, but that one sold for $1,500. I was like, eh! And I didn't want to pay $150 for that writing crop that was rainbow colors. So, but then I felt really bad because the girl who really wanted the writing crop was scraping every nickel penny to bid, and I'm like, I don't have the heart to do that, even though I really wanted it.
Sometimes you just gotta want it bad enough.
True. Very true. So we want to have one last word, and then we'll go ahead and do our final segment?
Our final segment, yes.
Okay. We'll be back in a moment. This is John C. Luna.
And this is Angelique Luna.
And if you like the content we've been putting on Living a Sex-Positive Life, then we need your help. For as little as $1 a month, you can give to our Patreon account, which will help us... Seriously?
It works for PETA. Why not us? We're starving sex educators here.
Let's just tell them what they get. For as little as $1 a month, we'll give you all past content and bonus content. But if you're able to give just a little bit more, we can give them what? Video content?
We could give them a one-on-one 30-minute Skype. They could have a private access to a group chat. Or even better, we could answer one question per month live on the podcast.
So if you like what we're doing and you want us to keep doing it, please go to our Patreon page for Living a Sex-Positive Life and give generously. Oh, dear God. Okay, and we're back, and we are going to go ahead and go straight to the news, the national news, the news that is very embarrassing for the White House, which I don't think is very hard to do in this administration.
But it's giving SNL great content, John Oliver great content, and also helping with his fundraising activities there. Okay.
So what we're talking about is Vice President Pence came out with a book called A Day in the Life of the Vice President, which focuses on his bunny. Mm-hmm. Right on the heels of that being released, John Oliver from, and I always forget his show's name because it's the news last week or...
Last Week with John Oliver.
There we go. So he came out with a book called A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo, which is the bunny's name, which follows a homosexual bunny through, I don't even know what you'd call it. We tried to buy the book, and it's already sold out. Where is
the physical book, but we can still buy the e-book and have the audio book.
Yeah, but I want to go ahead and make a video and have it to show people. You know, I want to make it like a pride thing. Okay, so 180,000 copies were sold in 2 days, and it is now at the top of the bestseller list. The book that is literally trolling Mike Pence, our vice president. And he is a little... Let's see, you're talking about Pence, just a little bit outspoken against the LGBTQ community.
He's very homophobic. It's very obvious.
So this was kind of like a slam right in your face. But, I don't know, I've become a really big fan of John Oliver lately, just because of the crazy shit he's been doing.
What? It's like, I was waiting for Ignixia to say something. It's like... You know,
now we have 3 of us. That's right.
Yes, it's like, hey, don't forget about our girl. Hello.
Of course not.
No, you guys, you had your thing going. I was actually looking something up really quick. There's something going on with the Trevor Project, and that's what I was looking up, was trying to figure out where exactly the Trevor Project was involved with the book A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo. So give me a second. I'm trying to find that information because I think it's a really cool and important cause, but somehow they're connected and I can't remember.
We'll figure that one out. Let's see. Oliver was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. There's a surprise. And they were promoting the book. I'm just amazed that the parody book sold more than the real book.
And it came out at that same time. Now, I was trying to listen to his interview with Seth Meyers, how he was describing, topics to talk about and how quickly they come up with the book. I mean, half of his stunts John Oliver does is amazing, and how HBO gives him that budget is beyond me.
Well, they also did an audio version of it on Audible. And they got
Jim Parson to be Marlo Bundo, and then Morgan Freeman's in there. There's a whole list of
They
other
got Morgan Freeman.
Yes,
That's like the pinnacle of badass narrators. And, there's just been so much from the White House. I mean, we came from a president that was very equal rights. Now we have one that seems to be pretty much shitting on a good portion of the American public. Anyone who's in the LGBTQ, anyone who's
anyone
kinky,
who's
not
heterosexual cisgender.
And it's really scary. I mean, I admit, when Trump first said he was running, I'm like, okay, I remember him from New York when I grew up in there. A little crazy, could be fun, a little different. But it only took me a month to go, oh my God, this is a bad idea. Because you look through all of the tabloids and all the shit that happened with him, and yeah. So, Ignixia, we have info.
Yes, so I found all of the proceeds from John Oliver's book go to the Trevor Project and to AIDS United.
That's awesome.
So, all the proceeds from it, so like when you order the ebook, you can go through like the Trevor Project website and order the ebook, and it immediately sends them a $12 donation, which is the cost, quote unquote, of the book for the e-version, which is pretty cool.
That's fantastic. We are buying the book. We actually, like I said, want the hardcover, but we may have to just break down and get the ebook as well as the audiobook, just because I want to hear Jim Parsons be a bunny, just to be completely different.
Goodness.
Well, we've heard him be Sheldon Cooper for ages.
Sure.
Now we've heard him. He did that one where he was an alien, and it was the most annoying alien possible. It didn't do that well. What was that movie's name?
Home.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear him be a gay bunny.
Well, no, be a bunny, because he's already gay.
Well, I wonder if he's just going to use his regular voice then, because it would fit. It would fit pretty well.
Yeah, because John Oliver had a little bit of the preview of it, so I guess they're going to also make like a full animated cartoon series of it, of the book, because they have the skit. But I don't know. This is John Oliver. Anything's possible with him.
Sure.
See, in our wild dreams, HBO will pick us up, and then we can do crazy shit like that, like make our own volcano or the train.
I like the train. The
train. He actually built this toy train and donated it to a town.
And it was too long. It was too big.
Yeah, when not like a person, but a town says this shit's too big, we have to donate it to someone else. You know it. Yeah, it's a little big, but I do love the work he's doing as far as calling out bullshit in politics, in the White House. I don't know. I feel bad though, because in 3 years Trump's going to be out of office, and then what is he going to do?
Hopefully rot in a prison cell.
Well, no, not. What is Trump going to do? What is all of these writers that are just given so much material now?
They'll have to get creative again.
Yeah.
I mean, right now they're just getting free content. I mean,
true. and same with Alec Baldwin. My God, look at his career. That was hysterical. That Trump and Alec Baldwin tweet at 5 a.m. Oh God, talk about really bad fights to pick. I don't know who is worse, Trump or Alec Baldwin feeding into Trump's stupidity.
I don't know, but I want to learn how to pick a fight with Trump. I mean, that any publicity is good publicity.
True. I just realized something now that we're talking about John Oliver, and it's like, sorry, my brain just went wacko. Remember the segment he did for the Church of Perpetual
Exemption?
We could do our own church, because, basically when we were doing the live broadcast, which we may go back to again, because we could do a 501c, because we meet at the same location every week at the same time.
And we have remote people.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So that way we could be exempt. John Oliver, yes! And plus there is a candle of the St. John Oliver.
Okay, so the whole plan is that and we're going to need help with this one. We're going to form a 503...
501c.
Which is a charitable organization. No, sorry.
Oh, goodness.
Nonprofit. What is the name of our church? Because that's the one that's got to pull us in.
Oh, come on. This is Church of Living a Sex-Positive Life.
That could work. Well, then we need certain... Okay. If we're going to go through the whole... Yeah, stop laughing. That hard.
Oh, I can't.
You're part of this now. It's too late. We have already made it official.
I'm not for church.
Yeah, you are.
No.
It's a kinky church. Come on. You make them go on their knees. You hit them with a cane.
That's it. Okay, again, I'm coming from the Catholic thing. Instead of using the holy water, we'll just have the blessed flogger.
Oh, God.
Have you been blessed today? Smack.
Yes, it will be blessed by Miss Ignixia Roberts and internalized floggers.
Oh, no.
Okay, I do have to say one thing. The attire, if the three of us are getting up on an altar, is all leather.
Well, obviously.
Oh, hell no!
Except for latex days.
It's Latex Tuesday.
Pretty Little Princess doesn't do
Friday.
that, okay? Pretty Little Princess doesn't do that. You guys could do the latex and the leather, and I'd figure out my little foofy dress.
If we're forming the Holy Trinity here.
We can make you froofy dresses out of latex and leather.
No!
I'm just saying.
Dolce & Gabbana, Versace.
I will have to send you pictures. There are some gorgeous latex dresses that I think you would fall in love with.
Was Versace involved in it? Was it Dolce & Gabbana involved with it?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, come on. You at least love your leather boots.
I love my leather boots. I love my leather coat. But when it comes to my dresses and my outfits, I still like my fabrics.
Right, but I know for a fact you've never put on a latex dress. But every time we go to a convention, you look and feel them.
I feel them, and I want to fall in love with them, but I don't. Even when we oiled up Ignixia over at Woodhall, it was like, it was okay.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was okay? I'm hurt?
I'm saying the texture of the latex, not touching you. That was a blessing right there.
You kidding me? I got really excited when a good-looking girl came up to me and said, "Would you oil me up?"
Yeah.
Game!
The action, it was great. The texture was like, meh. I'll tell you that. When it comes to the latex dress, I was like, just not my kink. Remember?
Yeah.
We don't have to agree. That's why we have three different...
We can have variety.
Exactly. That's why we brought Ignixia. We needed variety.
Right. And then we have you dressed up in your frou-frou, what is it, Chili Gabbana? What's it called?
Dolce & Gabbana. Oh my God.
Yes.
What the heck? What am I going to do with you?
And I got to figure out something in between.
No, you're going to be the leather.
We already have leather.
We have latex.
We'll figure this out. So, we have two contests going on. We should. First one is we need names for our pick. The new mascot of Living Sex Positive Life. The other one is we ask all our listeners to start tweeting and emailing John Oliver to help us form our church of Living a Sex Positive Life.
Goodness. Oh, goodness.
Watch.
Oh my God!
Give it 3 days. If we have a cease and assist, I'm going to go ahead and just love that. I will laminate the cease and assist.
I don't think so. I think he'll just probably have the comment on his show, and we'll be on his
show.
No.
That would be too much to ask for. I would be happy with a cease and assist letter from an official lawyer from John Oliver.
That's just as bad as Sheldon Cooper and getting all his restraining orders from, Stan Lee, George Takei.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, but that's fictional. and I'm looking at a picture which is definitely quite sexy. You could do this because it almost looks like...
I could do corsets and lace.
Yes, corsets are good.
There we go. We could do that.
Wonderful in corsets. No, but this one, she has the headpiece, and what is? It's a Disney prince. No, it's the Disney character, Malnificent. It almost looks like Malnificent, and we all know Malnificent is pretty close to being your spiritual guide, right?
Not so much Malnificent. Facilier, Dr. Facilier. The voodoo doctor from The Princess and the Frog.
See, I wish more people knew about The Princess and the Frog. Just didn't do well. So we officially covered Disney, religion, forming a church, and a few things in between tonight. So I think we've had a wonderful, good episode so far.
And what does it have to do all with sex now? And the tragedies and being an advocate? Well, yes, we did talk about sugar babies. That was our sex.
Well, we talked about sugar babies, and we have talked about the rabbit who happens to be gay. Because I could say the gay rabbit, but I will say the rabbit that happens to be gay, who has something to do with the White House. But it's a pain in the ass to Mike Pence, so I'm buying a few copies. See,
it supports the Trevor Project, which is a great LGBT resource. So bonus. Total
bonus. You see, back when, Teen Vogue did they came out with an episode, a magazine, and they had an article basically on anal sex. Right?
Anal sex, yeah.
And some conservative people went apeshit on it. What happened was we ran out and it was painful to try to find a copy of this and support Teen Vogue, which has been a very forefront.
They've been very progressive this last couple of years, really touching about sex education, consent, all the taboo topics that kids ask but no one talks about.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought it, and then we went to a conference and we got sick, and by the time it was over, it was out of the news. But this year, we are on par. We are focused, and when this stuff happens, we are going to have it right up in the front. Right?
Sure.
We're working on that.
Sounds good to me.
Well, now that we have an entire third extra now, who will be helping us out with her graphic talents and her leather knowledge and such.
And her tchotchke ideas. She has some good tchotchkes. So what would you like for tchotchkes, listeners? Tell us what ideas, free giveaways that you like to have. We're always thinking the traditional safe sex kit, but maybe there's something else that you want.
Tattoos.
The temporary tattoos?
Okay, if it has to be temporary tattoos.
Yeah, because here you go. Here's your little tattoo artist that we're giving away for free.
Oh, no.
But the Living a Sex Positive Life logo is actually, it's got the rainbow colors in it. It's actually pretty cool. And Angelique spent a lot of time putting it together. So I think temporary tattoos on that would be the swag of swag.
Yep. I think so. Any ideas? Ignixia, what kind of swag do you like?
Oh my goodness. All of the swag. Like I said, I do promotional and marketing material events, and I'm like a kid in a candy store going from booth to booth. I'm like, I'll take 3 of these and 3 of these, and you've got like 5 more baskets of this, right? Because I'm dumping all of this into my bag. But there's cups and tumblers and pens and t-shirts, and not even just the like standard cotton t-shirts that are kind of itchy. Like there's some really nice shirts. There's so much. I could go on forever about this because they're so much fun. I love promo items.
I know, but we gotta make sure they're fun, they're easy, and they could use them at like parties, like sex parties,
and
tea parties. They're safe.
We're not.
So what I'm hearing is you need Living a Sex Positive Life dildos.
Not made from China. Oh, damn it!
What? Yeah, it's like, oh god.
Well, then you go from promotional items to what I want, which would be like a flogger with a dildo handle that's branded Living a Sex Positive Life. It's the best of both worlds. I'm sorry.
A mini flogger keychain.
No, not mini flogger. We want the full... No, keep going.
That's expensive. We can't be giving those things out.
Exactly. There's what I want to give away, and then there's what I want by my side.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we have like a little kit,
The mini floggers.
The mini floggers, yeah. Or, like that, the unbox,
Wartenberg wheel?
Wartenberg wheels. That's a necklace that folds up, things like that.
We're going to get creative. Yeah. We're good at creative. We're dangerous at creative.
Too dangerous there. I know that it's like, Yeah, this segment has totally gone side rails, like we normally do, but yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, sheesh. We didn't talk about Sesta or Fosta.
I think we need to talk about it. We got a few minutes.
No, it's going to take too long for me to start bitching and complaining that people didn't, talk to the Congress and, really teach those guys the difference between sex trafficking, human trafficking, and sex workers. They're all different
Sounds like another episode.
It does, so let's do a teaser. Next episode, we're going to hear about Kinky Campground and the experiences as such. But this law that we're talking about, say it again, baby?
Sesta?
Is basically sounds really good, but it's confusing the line between sex worker and sex trafficking. And it's mixing up. It basically can be used to lump a sex educator in with someone who has basically taken a young woman across borders and now it's turned her into a sex slave. It lumps it all into one, and this is not the same thing. Sort of like the confusion when they were going after the Me Too movement, where they were very much the news was very much saying pedophilia in the same sentence as sexual harassment, and they are two very different things. But this is something that needs a little attention. And hopefully we'll get you guys out to go ahead and write to your congressman. That is like the most boringest thing to do. No one writes to their congressman anymore. What you do is you go on Twitter and you just annoy the shit out of them because you can do it from your phone and turn it into a game. So we'll go ahead and talk about that on our next episode coming up next week.
Or if you don't want to write your congressman, I think it's called ResistBot. You can text your congressperson and it will automatically send an email for you.
Ooh.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, ResistBot. You text resist, just as it is as a word. You text resist on your regular messenger on your phone to 50409, and it will automatically walk you through what you need to do to contact your congresspeople, and it will walk you through a quick little write-up for an email, and it will send it to them, and then it will check up on you later and see if you want to send something else.
Okay, we definitely need to put that in the show notes. ResistBot. So we just need to text resist to that number. Oh yeah, they're gonna hate me.
And if you want the website for it, it's resist.bot.
Very cool.
That's it.
See, we teach kinky shit. Try to fight political issues, and throw in the educational content too. So we're doing good.
Yeah.
And I think that covers enough for our 501c.
Church of Living a Sex Positive Life.
Oh goodness.
We'll have little Bibles of consent and negotiation. Ooh. There you go. That's our little promo item.
I would love to make the little. Do you remember the mini Bibles you'd get in school from the Mormons? The little ones.
The pamphlets,
the little one. But the Church of Living Sex Positive Life. Chapter 1, consent. Chapter 2, negotiation.
Oh goodness, I totally have an idea for this that we can discuss later because I think it could actually work.
Yay! Our fundraising.
Chapter 3, aftercare.
Right.
Oh.
And then, if people donate, then it's tax deductible for them.
Oh, can we make this a Kickstarter? We can make like a little kink Bible.
Possible.
And we have a lawyer who could probably help us out.
Oh, wow. You heard it here first. Let's see where we go ahead and bring this.
Yes. And on that note, thank you for listening. You can find me everywhere on Living a Sex Positive Life, social media, and the website.
And you can find me on, of course, FetLife and Facebook and Twitter as John C. Luna. And
Miss Ignixia, how can they find you?
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram most easily as Ignixia for Twitter, which is IGNIXIA, or Ignixia Roberts on Instagram. And those are probably the two easiest to find me on right now.
And remember, if you enjoyed our podcast, please go ahead and rate us either on Google or iTunes, because that's how we get, clout and recognition.
Yes, and say, oh, we forgot to talk about the scandal about someone stealing other people's content material. Ooh.
We have lots of stuff to write down for next week.
Yes, I know. This was our fun show. So, we'll follow up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, honey, you know those new toys I wanted to try out?
Yes.
The ones that you said it's going to cost me way too much money to have?
Oh, yes.
But I found this new service called Kinkcrate.com.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, and for $50 a month, they send you a box of toys that are worth anywhere from $75 to $100. And it's like great starter kit, like, you know, that rope play we wanted to try, or your favorite medical play. So, why don't we go check it out?
I heard if you go to livingasexpositivelife.com's sponsor page, they can get you an additional 33% off.
Oh, see? It's such a steal, babe. Come on, 33% off our first box? Please? Thank you, everyone, for listening to our show tonight. You can find us on our webpage, livingasexpositivelife.com, on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on Living a Sex Positive Life, where you follow all our stories and adventures. You can find me on all social media as Miss Angelique Luna.
And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter as John C. Luna. Please reach out and let us know how we're doing.
Please like, share all our contents, leave your opinions, comments, complaints. We accept it all. But we also like to thank our sponsor, The Woodshed. You can find them on their webpage, thewoodshed.orlando.com, and they're also on FetLife and Facebook, where you could see a lot of their events and promotions going on.
Thank you very much for joining tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.